So, I'm here with Grant from Feeder.
Hello.
I'm assuming you don't remember us meeting 4 years ago, do you?
You do look familiar, but if you let me know, what was it here?
No, it was in Portsmouth.
Okay, what, the pyramids?
No, it was the Guildhall in Portsmouth.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
That's a no. It's fine.
Anyway.
People say I've got that face that you remember, but obviously they're lying. But, because I caught up with Taka at the Portsmouth show at the end of last year,
right.
just at the start of this tour.
Right.
And he wouldn't really give much away. He was like, yeah, we're maybe going on tour, maybe not. We're going to see what happens with the album.
Okay.
Well, it went down well, didn't it? Top 10 album.
It did, yeah, it was nice to, yeah.
Were you expecting that? Like,
I
know you
didn't really know what to expect. I mean, it's such a weird industry now. You just never quite know. I mean, you know, we've got, obviously a great fan base, but you never quite know if people are actually going to go out and actually buy it or download it or whatever.
Yeah.
We've obviously been away for a while as well. It wasn't really planned, the 4-year break. I basically just wanted to have a little bit of time out from Feeder. Taka was doing his other little project in Japan, so I thought it was a good time to have a break. So he was occupied. I started writing for a few other people, and then it became a solo record. I didn't have any plans ever to make a solo record because I was quite happy to the Feeder things. I mean, I write the stuff for Feeder anyway. And then and I kind of really got into that. I really enjoyed it. It was such a different vibe, much more acoustic. More how the Feeder songs kind of start off a bit more like that, and then some become a bit heavier. And it was a really fun project. It was just sort of nice to do it, but I wanted people to know that if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it properly and not just like a sort of little side thing, hobby, like a lot of solo records are. So I did about 50 shows on the back of that. I went to Europe, did 2 tours in the UK. I went to Japan as well, and then I released a mini album called Black Clouds. It was kind of like 2 albums of work, and that was great. But after it was starting to build. So I thought, well, either I take another year out of Feeder, so it'd be 5 years away. And I thought, I know Taka was sort of thinking, is that it? Is he ever going to come and do that? So I kind of felt like he wanted to get back together again, and it just felt like a good time to do it. I thought, look, at least I've set a foundation now with the solo stuff. I could just sort of do it in between. Yeah. But Feeder's my main baby, it always has been.
Was it did it give it a nice refreshing take? Because like you said, it's a lot more acoustic than when you came back and say Universe of Life, which
it's a bit of a trend.
It was just nice to go, right, so I've done that, and now turn it up to 11.
I love rocking out. Of course there was times where I was out my keys, a bit of finger picking, trying to be Nick Drake, whatever. I was just thinking okay, we'll hit the fuzz box now. But it was starting to creep in. I think the band, because I did have a full band as well. I had some great players as well. With two like crazy Danish guys, keyboard player and who were top, they play with some amazing people. But I did. It was nice to get back to sort of rock. It took a while to sort of adjust to getting from that more acoustic kind of Americana, but I had a bit of that kind of
feel.
In my head, and that whole vibe. It was even like the band had a bit of that look. It looked a bit like Band of Horses, the beers everyone had sort of. But it was, and I still look the same now. But it's. It was just a nice vibe, but I really think it brought something to this new record because it made me approach it a little bit differently. It was very relaxed to make. We worked really hard on this record, but I think we just decided, let's make a record that we like and just hope other people like it. And I know we've tried to do that in the past, and we have most of the time. There's always a little bit of compromise, whether it's like management or labels, where it's like, well, we've got a single, that stuff. So we thought, let's not worry about it.
Do it your way.
We've been around long enough. We're not going to be on Daytime Radio 1 unless they're playing our old stuff anyway, because we don't fit their demographic age-wise and stuff like that. But I think it came out good. I love the record. I just like the sound of it. I think it's captured Feeder. I think more than any other record. Yeah. I wish some of our earlier records had sounded like this.
To be fair, that's part of growing up and maturing as a band.
I think it is, but we don't want to feel like there's no point in trying to compete with what we were doing when we were in our early 20s, and could do physically just doing short, really intense sets and stuff. I'll leave that to some of the younger bands, Kerrang and stuff. So we want to kind of rock, but in a slightly more, what's the word? Not soulful way, but
Gen-free.
I think we sound powerful, but I don't feel like I have to be sort of doing some crazy.
You don't have to show off.
Yeah, and I also quite like the sound of the band with me singing the way I am at the moment with the heaviness. It's got a bit of, I'm not saying crooner feel to it, but I love bands like Queens of Stone Age and stuff like that. And they don't sing in a typical rock way. They have almost like a crooner, like a almost like a bit of Elvis in there.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I love people like Johnny Cash and stuff. So I was trying to bring a bit of that more acoustic thing I was doing into the heavier sound of Feeder. I think it's really, I think it works really well.
I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you had to pick one song to sum up the legacy of Feeder, which I've already got one in my head, which one would you choose? If you had to say to someone, this sums up Feeder in a song, what would you choose?
That's quite tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, God, that's really hard, because I know some people would just think of, Brain Over Feeder through, Just Stay Buck Rogers stuff, but for me, that's not really our heart and soul. I mean, although I'm not overly, I don't like the way we recorded it, and it sounds, we could do it so much better now. I mean, I do think some of our earlier works were quite key to our sound. Tracks like My Perfect Day. I'll give you two, okay? I think the cross section would be probably My Perfect Day and either Just What I'm Feeling or Forget About Tomorrow. That, to me, crosses that.
All excellent
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those, to me, because it's got the anthemic side, the more, like string element that we've always done. And I still think My Perfect Day is just a sort of classic sounding Feeder track. People used to compare us to bands back in the day like Pumpkins and stuff, but it's still us. I can hear. I can hear it's been a perfect band here. It's put alongside them, but we do it in a slightly different way. But those are my tracks anyway.
Well, mine was Pushing Senses.
Oh, Pushing Senses. Right, okay, interesting.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you very much for your time. 'Cause I know you're running out.
That's
of time.
all right. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, that was easy.